That's right. Because of the countless number of moments in anime, we're back with another top 10 one-hit KOs in anime. You already know what I'm talking about. The overlooked moments that didn't get into the previous list will be getting their time to shine in this sequel. From the martial carnage that is Kengan Ashura to the obvious revisit from beloved franchises such as One Punch Man and Bleach. So without further ado, let's drop into the top 10 one-hit KOs in anime, volume 2. Let's start with Kengan Ashura, Wakatsuki and Murobochi's fight. Also known as the White Tiger, Wakatsuki Takeshi is the longest-serving active affiliated Gengan fighter and has the highest win record of all affiliated fighters. He's one of the strongest fighters in the Gengan matches, owed due to his unusually dense muscles. This power is shown when he defeated Murobochi Gozo in what seemingly can't be called a fair fight in the anime. Representing Furumi Pharmaceuticals, Takeshi fought against Gozo and from the outset he pulled no punches, opening the fight with a full-powered hit meant to defeat Gozo in a single strike that's shown off in a brutal punch to the gut that flung the poor guy across the pit. If you've ever played the recent Mortal Kombat games, then you'd feel right at home with the X-ray shot of Murobochi's intestines rupturing from the punch. Speaking of pulling fast ones, Doguro isn't a big fan of that. Doguro from Yu Yu Hakusho is one of, if not the strongest character in Yu Yu Hakusho. The former human-turned-demon is the main antagonist of the Dark Tournament saga, where he encounters Butajiri, a lying cheater with a name that literally translates to pig's butt. He's such a scumbag that his actions against Team Urameshi, Yusuke's team, angered Sakio and Toguro. The latter killed the pigman with a single flick to the forehead that caused the top of his skull to burst in a spray of blood and bone. This just goes to show how brutal Toguro is, but also how dishonorable and disgusting the actions of Butajiris are that they offended the main villain. When normal people give you the finger, you just feel offended. But when Doguro gives you the finger, your head explodes as you scream. I swear 90s anime have the most over-the-top and unbelievable deaths for no reason. Blasting off our next entry, we have the orgasmic punch from Yozakura Quartet. With the members of the Hizumi Life Counseling Office away for a trip, it's up to the local police to protect a pair of siblings from a werewolf who comes after their lives, intending to sacrifice them in an attempt to obtain immortality. After being bombarded by gunfire and shot in the head point blank by a sniper rifle, the cocky werewolf seems to think that he only needs to beat the alpha, which he thinks is Takao. That's when the bold swordsman breaks the bad news to him, while Narishiko delivers the most stunning punch after declaring that she's the alpha. The werewolf was punched by a flaming fist holding a sword that sent him barreling towards a squad of police cars which then exploded. Yeah, it's as crazy as it sounds, and it sounds straight out of Fire Force, even using the millisecond of silence before it delivers the ear-shaking bass. That's how you sell an anime one-punch knockout. Equal rights and equal fights. We have the nun punch from Toma in a certain magical index. Toma got his unofficial title of Nun Puncher when he faced off against Agnes. The fight ends with Toma's victory after he manages to break through Agnes's defenses and reach her. He then punches her in the face with his Imagine Breaker, knocking her out and showing that his fists don't discriminate even against church members. Remember, this all happens while Toma's just a level 0, the lowest of lows in Academy City. Yet he's able to go toe-to-toe against the world's most powerful espers and magicians and just punches them in the face. Be it man or woman, every scene where Toma beats someone is accompanied by hype music and animation that makes us cheer at every turn. This scene in particular wants us to celebrate our great equalizer knocking out a nun. Toma is a Giga-Chad amongst Giga-Chads, and his nun punch is a reminder why. Before we move on, let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt like the internet isn't a safe place? Heck, let's not even go down that route. Let's flat out say that the internet is a dangerous place. Fortunately, you've got this video sponsor ExpressVPN to save the day. With ExpressVPN, all of my internet traffic's rerouted and encrypted through their secure servers, so I don't have to worry about my internet provider seeing what I'm doing, or hackers on unencrypted networks trying to steal my account logins or credit card details. With ExpressVPN, you can change your location to a country where the anime is available no matter where you are in the world. I used it just this weekend to watch Hunter x Hunter, which isn't available in the UK. All I had to do was open up ExpressVPN and select the United States server, and boom! Now I can watch Hunter x Hunter like dozens of other anime on Netflix. Break region locks, overcome villains trying to get your personal info, and surf without suffering any slowdowns in internet speed. So what's not to like? No other VPN I've used comes anywhere close to ExpressVPN in terms of effectiveness, ease of access, and value for money. You can get 3 months of ExpressVPN for free by following the link below or typing in www.expressvpn.com/ViniiTube. A world of safe browsing and an internet free of limitations are at your fingertips. Teleporting behind you, we have Tatsuya versus Hanzo in Irregular at Magic High School. Probably one of the most famous one-hit KOs in recent memory. This is Tatsuya's one-shot defeat of Vice President Hanzo Hattori happens in the second episode of the first season. It's his earliest achievement in school that left the school council and his classmates wondering about his true identity. Tatsuya and Hattori's battle lasted only seconds, leaving Tatsuya the winner. Hanzo even predicts that he won't lose because blooms don't lose to weeds. And yet, just like a redditor with the power of God and anime on his side, Tatsuya rushes behind him and uses his natural special, a gun. This fight was so memorable since it's one of the first at the beginning of the anime that really showed us the gap between Tatsuya and the rest of the so-called elite. We get to be smug alongside her sister Miyuki as we see the other council members gasp in awe at the small showing of his power. Rushing on to our next entry, we have the rematch between Deku and Muscular in the latest My Hero Academia.
One for all full cowl. Impact 45%. デトロイトスマッシュ
The match between Deku and Muscular in My Hero Academia's 6th season was one of the most epic and emotional fights in the series. Deku faced Muscular again after their first encounter in the forest training camp, where Deku barely managed to defeat him with the help of Gota. This time, Vigilante Deku had to protect a group of civilians from Muscular's rampage while also testing his new abilities with One for All. Now, this fight was intense and brutal as Muscular unleashed his full power and Deku struggled to keep up. Deku used his Black Whip and Danger Sense quirks to gain an edge over Muscular. He also displayed his compassion and heroism as he tried to reason with Muscular and offer him a chance to redeem himself. However, Muscular was too far gone and refused to listen. He only cared about satisfying his bloodlust and fighting strong opponents. He pushed Deku to his limit, forcing him to use 45% of One for All. In the end, Deku delivered a powerful Detroit smash that knocked out Muscular and saved the civilians, ending the fight without getting major injuries and not even using 100% that previously defeated the villain, showed just how much more powerful and mature this version of Deku is. Next up, we have Nagisa versus Takaoka in Assassination Classroom. Nagisa, a timid and quiet student, was challenged by Takaoka, a sadistic and violent former instructor, to a one-on-one knife fight. Takaoka had a grudge against Nagisa for humiliating him in a previous encounter and wanted to make him suffer. Nagisa accepted the challenge despite being at a disadvantage in terms of strength, size, and experience. The fight was tense and brutal, and Takaoka used his superior speed and power to overwhelm Nagisa. He taunted and mocked him, trying to break his spirit and make him beg for mercy. Nagisa endured the pain and fear to keep his cool and utilize his observation skills to find an opening. He remembered the lessons he learned from his classmates and teachers and used them to his advantage. He exploited Takaoka's arrogance and anger and tricked him into lowering his guard. He then delivered a decisive blow to Takaoka's neck using a special technique that he learned from Lovro. He knocked out Takaoka with one hit, shocking everyone who witnessed the fight. The fight was a turning point for Nagisa as he proved himself to be a formidable assassin and a brave leader. He also earned the respect and admiration of his classmates and teachers who cheered for him and praised him. He showed that he wasn't afraid of Takaoka or anyone who threatened him or his friends. He demonstrated his growth and potential as a student of Class 3E. Now with the anime that will always be included in every one-hit list, we have Saitama's punch against the Deep Sea King. The first major monster fight by Saitama after he officially registered in the Hero Association. Saitama and the Deep Sea King's fight was absolutely one of the most epic battles in One Punch Man. When Deep Sea King invaded J City, he stomped everyone, even Genos and the muffin roll that is Moomin Rider. But what he didn't know was that he isn't the only monster in town. After Saitama saved Moomin Rider, Deep Sea King thought he was just fodder like the rest, but he couldn't be more wrong. With just one casual punch, Saitama ended the fight, making Deep Sea King join the Donut Group along with Rengoku. The punch was so strong that it even stopped the rain. Everyone's mouth was wide open, but Saitama was just disappointed by how easy the fight was. Not us viewers though, because of course the anime is called One Punch Man. This is probably one of the best animated moments in the first season. The slow-mo punch of the Deep Sea King sets him up to be an intimidating monster that towers over Saitama. His attack almost seemed like all was done, but was still just brushed aside by the one punch that made the world stay still for a moment. Saitama is more like a Deus Ex Machina that comes in at the last minute to save the day instead of the character we should be rooting for because of just how overpowered he is. Burning the rest into ashes, our pick for the next entry is from the recent Bleach. Driscoll's epithet, the Overkill, allows him to become stronger with each opponent he kills. Having already killed 100 Shinigami and another 100 previously, he prepares to deliver the fatal blow to another lieutenant, but Yamamoto intercepts the attack. Recognizing Yamamoto, Driscoll laughs maniacally before declaring he shall kill Yamamoto with his own subordinates Bankai. Despite Driscoll striking him multiple times with devastating bolts of lightning, Yamamoto emerges uninjured and brutally kills Driscoll with a single slash from his Shikai Ryujin Jaka, burning the very flesh from his bones. Engulfed in flames, Driscoll's bones are ultimately reduced to cinders. One slash was all it took to burn Quincy without leaving him to even make a sound. And all that Yamamoto ever said was burn. Just goes to show that you don't want to piss off the old man in an organization full of young people. And finally, we have Luffy's one-punch knockout against Bellamy in One Piece. The fight was short, but the reason for this entry taking the top spot is because of the build-up to that satisfying one-punch KO. Bellamy was set up to be this infuriating villain when he beat both Luffy and Zoro when they first met. After Luffy learned that Bellamy had attacked Cricket's house and stolen the gold artifacts, as most pirates do, Luffy fights Bellamy to steal the gold back, like another pirate does. Bellamy mostly showed off his best Pixar logo impression, but Luffy didn't even lift a finger because he's a Toei simp through and through. For his final attack, Bellamy rocketed towards Luffy, preparing to Goomba stomp him, but with the single most satisfying punch in One Piece history, Luffy smashed Bellamy to the ground, leaving an imprint of his knuckles on the right side of his face and knocking him out cold. The spring sound effect of Bellamy's legs was amazing, but it's mostly the emotional weight that carries this scene. This was a well-deserved punch that we all wanted to see. There's even a moment when one of the gang members brings a wanted poster of Luffy that shows his new bounty of 100 million, and Bellamy just thinks it's fake because he thought Luffy was weak. But in their next encounter, Luffy leaves a fist-sized mark on his face. All worth it for that one-punch payoff. The satisfaction we all felt as Bellamy got his lights rightfully knocked out is what elevates this scene from epic to memorable in my opinion, and proves the rule in One Piece that one must never fight a serious Luffy. And that ends part 2 of our one-hit KOs list. Let me know what other one-hit KOs you'd like to see being recognized in the comment section down below. Like, share and subscribe. I'm glad to have you here, and thank you so much again for watching this video.